the really important thing that I'm trying to point out here is that when we have a source that we looked at that used information from yet another source, our main objective, our responsibility is to cite the source we got it from. Now, it's very nice to also say, well, let's look at the next example. Pelkey II et al., 2009, established the context for their research into the role of fathers in popular sitcoms by discussing the research of their predecessors. One such example is Coltrane and Adams' 1997 study of, quote, gender stereotypes in television commercials airing from 1992 to 1994 during Nielsen Top 20 programs, end quote, which found that though women were still objectified, quote, the portrayal of passive and emotional behaviors was nearly as common among men as women, end quote. Pelkey II et al., 2009, page 116. This one is great, and I was about to get ahead of myself because I was saying that though it's our responsibility to cite Pelkey et al., because that's who we got it from, it's also really nice for credibility, for just general honesty, to mention the study that Pelkey's talking about. So in the sentence here we say, one such example that they give is Coltrane and Adams' 1997 study. Okay? So we make it really clear. This information comes from Pelkey. I'm citing Pelkey. Pelkey happens to talk about Coltrane and Adams. And we see this a lot because you're going to be using really good academic sources that cite their information. So students get very confused. Who do I cite? The person I got it from or the person they got it from? It's your job to cite who you got it from. Because otherwise we would just go back and back and back. Everyone got their information from somewhere, and it would just go on and on. But I really like this example because it shows how we can give Pelkey credit for giving us this information, while at the same time mentioning Coltrane and Adams' study. Everything that's word for word from the source has been put in quotation marks, so we didn't have that word-for-word plagiarism anywhere, so that's good. And anything that's not in quotation marks is a paraphrase or a summary of what the original source does. Now, you'll have in your packet page 4, where it gives you information from a source, a direct quote from a source, and asks you to write a paraphrase with a proper citation and to give a direct quote from the excerpt with a proper citation. Now, you can do that on your own, and I'll take a look at it to see how you're doing. Anyone who wants to can, go to their tutoring center if you're not on this campus and have them take a look at it. Or if you're on this campus, you can swing by my office, and I'm in E108A if you ever want me to take a look at it. I want to wrap up by saying, when you're not sure about whether or not you've plagiarized, just ask. I mean, that is the most important thing you can do. Ask a teacher. If your teacher's explained it to you 20 times and you're just still not getting it, sometimes you need to hear it from somebody else. So ask a tutor. Here on the main campus, we have the Academic Enrichment Center down by the library. And that's really helpful. The Academic Enrichment Center. And if you go down to the library, it's one door past the library. And you can either schedule appointments on an ongoing basis or you can schedule appointments on an as-needed basis. When you're paraphrasing, it's always a good idea to double and triple check against the original, meaning that you go ahead and do what you were telling me that you do, that you read the original, make sure you understand it, put it aside, write it in your own words, and then cite the source in that same sentence. But then also, as a next step, go ahead and look at the original and look at what you wrote, and make sure that you didn't get some of those words stuck in your subconscious, because our subconsciouses are very impressionable, so sometimes we pick up words and phrases and we don't even realize that we're lifting them from somewhere else. So it's a great idea to double and triple check against the original, just to make sure. Yeah.